Hello, welcome to Feisty Chess. We've got a 15-10 game against, let me play e4 and then try to pronounce this, Akshay Cheshad 100. Okay, Scandinavian defense. Haven't faced this yet. He's going for the Icelandic counter Gambit. Okay. I like bishop b5 here. Yeah, there's some neat lines in this. And now we drop our bishop back to c4 and we hang on to that pawn, at least for a time. There's an exchange sacrifice line in here, if I can remember it, involving a4 and rook takes a4 after bishop takes a4. With my bishop on b3. I remember that theme. Looks like we've stumped Akshay for a little bit. Okay, he's going for the Gambit. I don't think he has full compensation for the pawns since since he's put his bishop on d7. I'll be close to castling. It's got to be good for white to take the pawn here. Okay, I'm on the opposite side of a Gambit. Yeah, knight f3. Okay, right up there we see our time markers. We're going to try to take those seriously. Could go for d4 right away. Is he making any threats with that move? Do you want to castle queenside? Let's just get some pieces out. Yeah, knight c3. We can threaten some exchanges. I'm talking about ideas like knight d5, and then knight takes, bishop takes. Okay, puts the kibosh on that. Now I think d4 looks good. Can he put extra pressure on that? He can castle queenside. I've always got knight a4 against bishop c5, but that only works if I castle. Well, it looks a lot safer if I castle. Let's just castle. Not looking at castling queenside with black's queen already posted over there. b3 is an idea. Yeah, okay, now I've got knight a5, knight a4, I believe. Maybe it's a little better after b3. No, probably now's the time. Now's the time. We'll at least get a pair of minor pieces off the board. Yeah, let's do it. This is one of the points of knight to c3. And one of the points of castling. Otherwise it gets more complicated with bishop takes f2 check. Let's either get the bishop pair or both of his bishops. Then I can gain time on his queen with d3 if he does take my bishop on c4. Okay. Alright. Now b3 or d3? What's the best way to get my bishop out? b3. I like d3 better. It gets a little more hold over the center on e4. Gives my bishop more choices to get out along the longer diagonal. Of course, he can grab the bishop's back with knight to a5. But I can gain some time immediately on his queen with bishop coming out to e3. He's probably thinking, which way do I want to castle? Maybe he's considering knight a5. Okay. Oh, bishop e3 looks plenty good here. Yeah, let's do it. Might even give the pawn back if he goes after my b pawn. Yeah, that dark square bishop is really kind of plugging up the works for him. Sorry, his light square bishop. Stopping his rook. And if he brings his other rook to the central file, his bishop is just completely stopped up. Bishop to e8, however, looks artificial. Okay, we're doing well on time. All right. Could go for a trade of queens with maybe knight d4. Makes our task a bit easier. He's probably looking at knight g4 here. How can we make that unappealing? h3 seems to invite e5, and then he's looking at it with his bishop. Knight g4 is not really a threat because I've got my knight on f3. And whenever he plays knight g4, I can just pop in h3. Okay, knight d4 looks like a serious try. Knight d4, knight takes d4. Well, hold on, knight d4, queen swaps. Rook takes d1. Knight takes d4. Bishop takes d4. There's no useful discoveries for his light square bishop. And I just go into a queenless middle game of pawn up. It's half simplified down to an endgame, actually. So, knight d4, knight g4, I've got h3, and that more or less forces a queen trade to my advantage. So, yeah. Unless I'm missing something. This is the kind of thing you need to look at again. We don't have the time since we're going into a, if we simplify here. He could just slide his queen somewhere else. After I take on c6, that solves his problems, doesn't it? Yeah, that solves his problems. Let's just start bringing it to him on the queen side. Does that solve his problems? Hold on. I'm on a7 there. Well, that's often a dangerous pawn to take. Let's just get things rolling over here. His queen kind of stands in the way of that, and if he's going to try and attack with pieces, he's got the wrong idea. Do you want to go a3, b4, or just a4? I guess I could just start with b4. Okay. Yeah, let's start with b4. This works because I'm on a7. My bishop. He might go a6. Okay, he does go for this. I thought about moving my knight away on from f3. That's a really bad idea. Pinning his knight, but it's not really pinning anything. Okay, don't touch that knight. Well, yeah, we'll give up the dark square bishop. We'll just make some progress on this side, and we'll open up our own rook. Build a center, and gain some tempos. Yeah, let's just go for b5. Okay, now I think I have to play h3. I think I'm okay. But yeah, h3 is necessary now. Okay, he's got some tactics here. He might be gaining the pawn back. I've got to recapture. Okay, we've got a game here. I managed to. See knight d4? No, that's no good. I'll be down a pawn. Let's try and keep some initiative here. Alright, how far are we from our time markers? 18 moves. I've got to get to 25 by 7. Well, let's just have our eye on 30 seconds a move here. Oh, it should be more like 20. But you add the increment, 30 seconds. Oof. Yeah, bishop a6. I'd like to get my knight to b5, but what have I got here? I don't like that knight is pinned. Do we need to hold that pawn with knight to d2? No, actually, I'm fine. No, I've got to hold it. I've got to hold it. Actually, his bishop does look kind of silly there, as long as I can hang on to that pawn. Planning on using that pin, huh? We'll just go to the corner. Plans here, maybe rook b1, b3, d3. Yeah. Gives me a chance to straighten things out. Maybe exchange sacrifice ideas on b5, especially if I get a5, a4 in. Not sure. He's sending things in. This rook's got to be doing something. Let's just do our plan since we're lowish on time. Okay. Maybe we make our break in the center here with e4. It's an idea. Let's keep our plan up. Actually, this could be a useful move in conjunction with e4, that rook lift. Rook d3 sets a little bit of a trap. Trap being I'm still protecting c4 with two pieces. Rook d3, say bishop takes c4, rook takes d8 check. And after a recapture on d8, I can take on c4. Oh, it's my move. He played h5, h4. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Maybe I was expecting rook c3. I like rook d3 better. Yeah, rook takes d3, c takes d3 would be very good for me. I doubt black will do that. I've got knight b3 coming, my structure's repaired. Okay, he just presses onward. Can't I just... Looking at knight b3 here. e4 may be better. Yeah, e4 looks good here. Now that opens up my rook on the third rank to defend. It sort of shuts down this long diagonal that my king is on. Still got my trap laid too, but I'm sure my opponent sees that. If he takes on e4, knight takes. Looks pretty good. Maybe not. Yeah, I think knight takes, queen takes c4, rook takes d8, rook takes d8, knight d6 check. Leaves me with an endgame where I'm just up on exchange, but he might be up a pawn. So it'd be rook versus bishop endgame if you follow that line. Knight takes d6 check, and then rook takes d6. Okay, he's going for this. Rook takes, or something else. Let's keep a pawn on that diagonal. He's got a light square bishop after all. Now if he takes on e4, I'd have to retake with the queen, which puts me in a pin, but I should be fine after maybe rook back to d3. Time to free my queen from this pin, perhaps. Let's try queen g4. Okay, might be dropping that pawn, but his pawns don't look secure on the king side. Those pawns are just kind of in my way, in some sense anyway. I'm jealous of his possibility for king safety. Let's just charge forward. Actually, rook d3 looked really strong there. Which pawn is he going to try to hang on to? Both of them. Lots going on here. Lots going on. Okay. Maybe idea of rook a3 with tempo here. Position's getting wild. I am down a pawn now. the bishop moves back to b7, I've got knight c4. Might be better. I don't know, maybe just rook takes a7. Not a fan of the pin that rook leaves me in. My knight. Maybe queen e2 would be best if bishop b7. I like knight c4. Get out of that pin while I can. First rank is covered. Covers that rook on a3. Bishop b7, knight c4. Okay, he goes for this. He goes for this. I don't really believe it. I don't believe it. I've got to go for this. He's got queen checks on that diagonal. That's the problem. That's the problem. I should have believed it, man. I should have believed it. Going down in flames here, folks. Ooh. Okay, resignable. Bummer. Shoot, shoot, shoot. So, rook takes a3. Rook takes h3. Mandatory here. I thought I had king to g1 here. But the problem is, queen check on c5 or d4 just forces king there anyway. Would have been sturdier here just to probably take. Let's pull up the analysis board. take. Deadly fork there. Yeah, it's over. It's over. Rook takes a3. a6 is a big mistake. So yeah, it's over. I mean, if I've got a rook and bishop for a rook and knight for that queen, but there's just no way to avoid the fork coming on this diagonal. I can come here, the rook check, and if I step on this diagonal, there's a queen fork on b5. If I don't, it's just mate time. Yeah. Here's one. There's a nice one. So let's look. After rook takes a3, sensible move. You should believe your opponent when they have more time than you. I said I don't believe it, and I just grabbed. But he had a lot of time to think it over. Still says crushing advantage for. Oh, I see. Rook h to g8. Okay. Even this rook to g8. Man, I find myself in these tough positions. Okay, here it's even. Rook d3. Just get that rook back. Yeah, oh, I missed this. I had rook d3 on the brain all game except when it was needed here. Rook d3. Queen c7. Huh. That forces the queen to give up on one of these pawns. If he goes here, knight f3. Yeah. Yeah, e5. Doesn't like that. e5. Queen f5. Huh. Keep the queens on. He wants me to take the draw here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I fought back to some kind of equality here. Let's see, how do we display? How do we display that? Okay, let's go back to the beginning. And once again, I played very well in the opening. Got no opening problems here. Plus 1.8. I mean, I'm just up a pawn for no compensation. Now I'm up 2 pawns because I get the bishop pair. Likes b3 better. I guess b3 comes with the threat of once I play a4, black can't castle because I've got a skewer along the a3, f8 diagonal. But d3 is also good. Bishop d2, huh? I'm up a piece, according to the computer here. Now d4, just to keep a knight out of d5, e5. b4 is also good. Bishop f4. Huh. h3. I thought h3 was forced here because of the threat of knight takes f3, queen takes f3, queen h7 mate, queen h2 mate. Bishop f4 covers that. Okay, that's the point of bishop f4. Keeps my bishop pair. I lose my advantage. Black apparently has the advantage here because he's going to get that pawn back. Queen e1 was better. Just let him have that. What? Queen e1. The point being, I'll pin it. Queen e1, bishop takes c4, queen c3, so queen c5, knight e5. Aha, that is just winning the piece. Okay.